Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live, and there's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. Also below this video you can get £50 for swapping your UK electricity supplier to Octopus Energy. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show on Facebook and Twitter. One last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now we are joined by Eli, 10th Man, Neil, Refracted Curvature, Righteous Force, and a whole bunch of people on Discord, so welcome one and all.
Good morning.
Greetings.
How are you?
Hello. Hey, hello.
Hello, you enthusiastic lot. Very good to have you all. Any evidence of a physical geometric sphere edge horizon? That would be formerly known as Earth curve. And I know someone here has had somebody tell them that they've got Earth curve.
You would need R for that.
Yeah, it's a negative.
That's a good point, right? You would need R for that. That is correct, 10th. However, we've got a Discord server full of people, and yesterday there was a Discord overflow of people, not necessarily saying a great deal. Not that I'm moaning, but I know there's people in the server right now that have been presented with a claim of Earth curve. And I'd like to talk about that, given what 10th Man has just said, and I hope he'll now repeat.
You would need a radius for that.
So let's talk about this, fundies. Last time I asked for R, Conspiracy Cats ran away from a debate and then decided to tell his audience that I was running away. Complete liar. But yeah, that's the elephant in the room now. The R value. Yeah, we have actually been asking for about 3 years, and we did officially debunk it 18 months ago. So we're not kidding when we ask for R. We do genuinely want you to prove that you can get the R value you assume when you say you're standing on a sphere, or point us in the direction of so-called Earth curve. That will need an R value.
Well, do you want me to repeat how the claim works?
Yeah, please. That'd be brilliant. That'd be brilliant. Yes, please.
There seems to be an apparent dip angle between the horizon and our eye level when drawing a zenith and a perpendicular from our eye level. If you apply a tangent to that horizon, it gives you 90 degree at the horizon and the opposite leg of the triangle running through your zenith, if you assume it's a sphere. And you should be able to measure it from that point.
Okay, so you've got your zenith becomes the hypotenuse, you've got your 90 degree angle at your tangent point, and then you've got that straight line at the 90 degree running to the presupposed centre of the Earth you're measuring R of, correct?
That's an accurate description.
And that's derived from a dip angle from your horizontal at your zenith. That's then assuming that you've got a straight line parallel out from your position, and then the dip to the horizon to give you that quote-unquote tangent. So it'd be a tangent to a physical geometric sphere edge horizon then.
Well, yeah, that measurement is what gives us the belief that it's a sphere, right?
Hello, guys.
Hello, Arwin. Yes, if it was actually a measurement of a physical geometric sphere edge tangent point horizon, then it would be no more than 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet, and we've debunked that. We've shown that it's beyond the geometric limitations of a sphere radius 3959. Therefore, the horizon is not a tangent point to do this geometry to derive R. Goodbye, so long, farewell to R.
So, well, if you say it's refracted, then you're invalidating the claim of measuring physical geometric horizon, right?
First and foremost, if you claim to get R from a physical tangent point horizon, as described moments earlier by the Al-Biruni method with dip angle by John, then yes, at the moment you say it's refracted, you automatically invalidate any capability of measuring it if it was physical, in spite of the fact we have shown it's beyond the limitations of a sphere 3959 in radius, with the black swan. But yes, first and foremost, just refracting the horizon means you can no longer measure it because it's not an actual position to measure if you claim it's refracted on the anti-flat Earth side. So yes, that's correct. First and foremost, there are other things that are issues with claiming refraction, given that they say their refraction, that's terrestrial refraction on a sphere Earth, is based on R. It's a derivative of R, so you're going to need to measure R to even claim refraction for anything, especially not the horizon, because that's where you get R from, leaving it paradoxically incapable of refracting itself without measurement. Anyone else got any nice stories about Earth curve assertions? Dip angle being one of them, thank you very much indeed. Refracted curvature, aka father of a stolen child, aka John.
Well, that was the one that held me to the sphere for so long, was that I thought I could measure it. You know, I understood that we measured things locally flat, but I thought, you know, there was Earth curve that we could measure. That's not the case.
No, John, it works the opposite. You see, when you use a sextant and you sight the sun in the sky, that the double mirror instrument is used to bring the sun straight down where it's over on the plane Earth to give it an address. It's called a geographical address. So now what you do is you bring that sun from the sky where it is, it's not on the Earth, and you bring it down to the horizon. You waggle your sextant left to right till it barely touches the surface of the horizon you see. But it's beyond that, because in the circle of equal altitude, it might be 3,000 miles away. So you can't see 3,000 miles away, but you still have to bring it down to the horizon, waggle it to where it's barely touching the horizon. Take your reading and your time and your date. And you go to the books, and the books say it's over here. Well, that could only happen if it was a plane all the way to the geographical position of the sun, which is 3,000 miles away from you. But you are limited to the horizon you see because of your eyesight. And yet, it's still straight for the full 3,000 miles, or else you can't achieve an angle. So that's how it works, not with a curve, because you can't get an angle with a curve. So we know the geographical position, which is the address of the sun or the moon or a star, when you bring it down to Earth's surface. That is the whole point. It's a horizontal coordinate system. We're bringing it down and giving it an address where its zenith is, where it's directly above. I hope they wake up.
Any other stories of Earth curve? If not, we're going to move on to axial rotation.
Well, it's kind of necessary to get this R value first before we can move forward in the conversation, I would think. I don't think Pat Britton understands that, but
no,
you know,
he saw that as an unrealistic concession. Bias much, Pat? Unrealistic? No, you definitely need an R value. We've debunked it. Katz is well aware. It's in one of his videos. He shows a comment where I ask him for it. He never addressed it in the video, and as I keep pointing out, 80 to 100 renditions of the same thing isn't really a concession or unrealistic concession. It's just 18 months solid of us pointing out that you haven't got this value anymore. On the subject, any evidence of the R value, that thing we've been asking for 3 straight years and has been completely annihilated for the last 18 months? Any evidence of that, by chance?
it's not hard to mistakenly engage in the mind experiment of thinking you are seeing the geometry, though, even though it's not officially claimed anymore, and nobody officially claimed that ever. But you can still think in your mind that it might be geometry you're looking at, and that is why it looks the way it does. So you can comfortably engage within the model thinking.
Hold on. Model thinking. You've got to be a bit more precise with your words. When you say geometry, there is a geometric aspect to the horizon that I could very easily detail. Its namesake, for a start. But you're saying physical geometry, though, aren't you? You're implying it when you jump to the model without saying it. I don't know if you're just being sneaky because I don't know what you're doing. And that's not normally the case for you, Alan. What are you doing?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I'm doing. I was being Baldwin and Arwin at the same time.
Okay, well, it was good. It was good.
Transfusion.
It was good because you were implying to assert geometry at the horizon. Yeah. It's horizontal now, isn't it? So, yeah okay, that's an aspect of it. Like flat. Yeah, that's another aspect. But when you say using the word model, that's why you can imply a certain aspect of geometry, although you didn't even give that many weasel words. You're saying physical geometry. You're saying in this picture right now, where these clouds end and meet the sky, that's a physical Earth curve edge. What's that you say? It's up in the sky. Doesn't matter. That's what your horizon is. It's the edge of Earth. A physical blockage to things behind it, and an obstruction for boats to fall over. In very literal terms, that's what your math says. Boats go over the edge of Earth curve. Isn't it shocking that they have a very similar rhetoric from the controlled opposition narrative of the Flat Earth Society, where they have boats falling off a pizza pie? Yeah, we don't make that claim. That's a preemptive strike against flat earthers, pointing out that you on the globe side literally have boats falling over the horizon. Oh, what do you know? Here's wind turbines falling over the horizon, according to geometric assumptions of physicality at the horizon. This is falling over the horizon if you're a wind turbine, because that's the nonsense postulation from the globe side.
Can I point out an ancillary point, which is that, and if I might have heard you wrong, but I think you said the new official claim is that there is no geometric horizon. It's not official. It's only an official anti-flat earther position.
Oh, I see.
The majority, I believe, in heliocentrism position.
Oh, absolutely. It's defined by National Geographic. I understand what you're saying. You're trying to utilise this opportunity to say, on the anti-flat earth side of this argument, they tell us, quote, the geometric horizon only exists in the maths. Quote, we wouldn't expect to see the geometric horizon. Quote, nobody claims the horizon is Earth curve. Now, those are all anti-flat earthers hearing the Black Swan argument and having nowhere to go other than to start throwing away their own claim that the horizon's Earth curve for boats to be measured as being behind. Yeah, they've got nowhere to go, so they tell us that nobody claims the horizon's Earth curve, when it's specifically defined that way by National Geographic, and in the maths, marked with an X, labelled horizon, and claimed to have drop and dip values behind it. That's just when they realise they've lost their argument. And then they reposition their losing argument against us. So you, the flat earther, say the horizon's Earth curve. Not in a million years, fundy idiot. I'm not claiming the horizon's Earth curve. The globe claims that. But because I've debunked it, you need to now reposition the argument that I, a flat earther, am claiming the ludicrous notion of the horizon being the Earth curve that we've debunked, so you need to attack that. And tell us nobody claims that, you idiot, flat earther. Who's claiming the horizon's Earth curve? You are. Here it is in your maths marked with an X labelled horizon.
X meet mark in the spot.
I just wanted to say Nathan is totally correct, because before we figured out the nature of the curvature calculator and all that, and how they want us to presuppose it is actually a sphere edge in some way, the flat earthers, the ballers and the anti-flat earthers were much more comfortable with the notion that we would assume some form of geometry first and then point out how their geometry, like, it's not the right curve, right? But at least we thought it could have been some kind of a curve in some way. And that way they felt more comfortable engaging in that discussion. Now we just say, no, there is no curve ever. Black swan, the geometry calculations that you bring out with the curvature calculator, it purposely excludes elements that are proven to be there. And therefore, no, we're not even going to go as far as that there might be some kind of a curve. Nothing.
Exactly. It might be the case that you've stuck your head in the sand as ostriches do for 18 months and ignored the fact that we've debunked R to only go out to people who aren't us to use R still. And then get all shocked and shaken when I ask you for it, right? Yeah, as I said in the pre-show, for anybody who's asking me why I won't debate cats, I've agreed to. I've said there's just a few concerns. Given that I've posted in his comments about R and ask for it daily, yeah, given that's the case, that's going to need addressing. He's not a newbie. He's not some professor that's never come across this subject that doesn't know about the black swan. And realistically, that's what my audience wants to see me go up against. An expert, not a schoolteacher. Meanwhile, I've agreed to debate this schoolteacher. We just need the host to address the fact that this schoolteacher takes 80 to 100 renditions of the same point, obfuscating and squirming away from it, and then runs away when I point out that R is still unaddressed. And that's how it stands currently. So for all of you who believed Cats and Ranty saying that I've run away, yeah, just read what it says in those email strings. And read me calling the host very nasty names based on his lies, and taking me saying, yes, I want to debate, and yes, happy to debate, as I don't want to debate, because globe-believing fundies read one thing and interpret it as something totally different now, don't you? You'll even go to the extent of publishing how you've interpreted that completely wrong information, based on hearsay, to a wide audience who now know you're liars. That's unfortunate if you're trying to be credible.
The whole thing is giving me such a headache, Nathan, about this cats nonsense and you debate. Everybody's complaining in my chats about that now.
Yeah.
And I don't even want to know about it anymore. As far as I'm concerned, you have the right to say, no, I don't want to get kitty litter on my clothing.
But I haven't. I've said, oh yeah, I'll debate cats. The only issue I've got is that in the past, I've put the same point to him 80 times in excess of, and he's danced around it and ignored it. And then Tommy comes on unsolicited and says the exact same thing. And you know what? Flatzoid's even been in touch with Pat and said the exact same thing. Several people raising the same concerns about cats. Now, Pat's attitude is, I don't give a shit about the conditions. I don't give a shit about your concerns. I don't understand R. And it's unreasonable for you to expect it to be conceded. Because I don't understand it. That's what I've got. All under the guise of agreement to debate with cats. Yeah? I understand that you've been led to believe that I've run away and you still want to keep hold of this lie that Cats and Ranty has told you. I understand. But I've agreed. It's right there in black and white. It's just I will need a few concerns addressing. It's not like I become a second-rate citizen because I'm a flat earther and suddenly anything that I say, hang on, would it be okay if you just address this one slight concern I have? Slight being 80 to 100 renditions of the same exact point. 18 months of ignoring an R value that's debunked. Can you address those for me? Is that any chance at all? Yeah?
You know what? I'm beginning to realize that if an official came out to debunk the Black Swan, that right there would legitimize the Flat Earth movement or whatever it is. Right there, like the moment the official people address the Black Swan, it's over. The only reason that you guys think you're still breathing on a globe is because they have done their very best to ignore everything that we're talking about by strawmanning us, by deflecting, by doing exactly what Cats is doing. Except on another level.
Correct. And Cats is now going to become a poster child for spin doctoring and obfuscation. All I've asked, it's really simple, is for R. Something I ask for daily. But suddenly, me asking for R is interpreted as me backing out. No. No, Katz is well aware that we have debunked R. I mean, I could quote a few of his compadres. At best, you've debunked Earth Radius. So he's well aware of this. What, should I just jump into a debate and then have him obfuscate it 80 times? Another unaddressed, I should say, concern that's been put to you? Normal people will put these concerns. I know you dicks on the anti-flat Earth side think you can behave however you like and then hope that no one will ever address that. But yet there's several people addressing it from our side. Now you might think, yeah, second-rate citizens, you have to tolerate it. No, we don't. We just point it out to unreasonable, biased, globe-believing hosts who then tell us that they don't give a shit and that they're experts in communication. Now, what that actually shows, given that he has literally confessed to being biased towards the globe, is that Katz requires an ignorance of the R that's debunked and a nice, comfy little biased mod to support him. Someone that will tell the flat earther that he does not give a shit about any concerns raised and that any concessions sought will be deemed unrealistic. So that's what's actually been said by this host, that is being told to me by all the people who haven't got a vague clue and never spoken to the guy, is unbiased. Yeah, he's actually said, I'm not unbiased. I am biased towards the globe. So what are you babbling about, fundies, that have kept this going for the last week? Your fundies have lied to you, told you I've run away. No, I've just asked for R. Now, it would be so simple to just address that elephant in the room and go, what's he talking about? Not, he's unrealistic. That's unreasonable to ask for. He's asking you to concede before we've started. Sorry, are you unaware that we've been asking for this for 3 years? Is this a shock? No. But as soon as you realise that you will lose, you run away from me. Yeah? Unless you've got a host that will tell your opponent that he's sorting for a concession on something that is clearly debunked. You're not just going back to Pat, are you, Cat, saying, hey, what an idiot, here's R. Just give him this. Show must go on, give him this, here's my R value. No, I'm seeking unrealistic concessions. And that's precisely how it would have panned out on the show. If I'd have got to my 80 to 100 renditions of the exact same point, where's R to Cats, with it ignored entirely like it was by my emails back and forth with Pat, he ignored every single thing I said. Didn't look into it or investigate it or address it in any way, shape or form. And that is how he would have been on the show. Why do you think I asked him in the first place? To see how he'd react. That's how he'll behave on his show. I don't give a shit about your concerns, as you plea for my opponent to shut the fuck up and answer a question he's had 80 times. I don't care. Right, well, that's bias, isn't it? Bias in favour of Cats. And Cats damn well knows it. That's what he needs to win. And when I simply ask his biased host for R, he runs from me. Make no mistake.
There's a guy named Mighty Mouse in chat saying you don't need to confirm the radius. You don't need the horizon.
Shut
So
up.
I'm gonna ask him to come
Define geometrics.
on. I want to
define
invite him on the
radius.
show. That's what I want him to do. Come on, Mighty Mouse.
That's the thing, right? I'm sorry, because they'll say things and it's like it's so stupefying. It's like I don't even know how to begin to tell you that you don't even know the definitions of the words that you're using. And I guess that's why you guys have been so upset. It's upsetting me. Like simple definition, like we can't even go with defining and agreeing on terms so that we can continue an amicable conversation. That's what it's crazy because we're supposed to be science deniers. We're supposed to be the people that are in a cult, that are in an echo chamber that's not open to criticism. Well, shit. All I want to do is get on the same page with you.
Yeah, all Eli wants is to believe in your R that you assume with every argument you make and we've debunked. He just wants to be on the same side as you. All I want is you to address the elephant in the room that we've debunked R. Now, to all you anti-flat earth ostriches, yeah, you need to yank your heads back out of the sand and stop acting so shocked and shaken that I asked for R. Because I ask for it daily, don't I? You just don't hear it. Like me saying happy to debate equals backing out. To liars, who want to believe their gurus who've lied to them. Yeah? That's what's happened, fundies. So, up until now, I've waited to see how the dust settles. Now I'm going to say it like it is. Cats runs from me daily. I have an open door, and if he actually had a coherent argument to put to us, he'd be here embarrassing me with it daily. And he isn't. What he is doing is sorting himself out with a nice, friendly, globe-believing moderator who has made it clear he doesn't give a shit about any objections I raise. That's what Cats needs. Meanwhile, I open my door daily to cowards who don't come, and would absolutely be shutting me the hell down if you had an R value, because that's the first thing mentioned by this Pat guy. Nathan says you haven't got R. So where are the swarms of fundies telling me I'm wrong? Where are you? You're all in the comments telling me I should debate Cats. Oh, yeah, I've agreed to. But I don't want a 30-second debate that turns into a 2-hour debate of me asking 80 times for R. That's boring. And I pointed that out, didn't I? For all of you who say I back out. Now, I said it would be boring to ask for R 80 times. Didn't I? Yeah, I know Ranty's a liar and told you I ran away. I didn't. And that's why I'm the one smiling at your lies. And Pat's lies that I swore at him about telling about me now, didn't I? What's that? I'm backing out. No, I'm not. Where did you get that from? Well, I took this nonsense that didn't say that to mean that you're backing out. Well, it doesn't. Just means I'm concerned that I might end up repeating myself 80 times. That not unreasonable to address? No, it's not. But it is if you're an anti-flat earther who definitely needs to obfuscate a point you can't win 80 times. Right? With a nice, friendly, globe-believing moderator on your side. Yeah. Here, we got an open door, and I got plenty of comments about how I let you fundy fuckwits put your point across to my audience, and will even shut my own side down. And get this, right? One of my Patreons, Witsit, got a taste of my venom when he came here and punted down Go Boom Boom. With electromagnetism now, didn't he? And which was the clip that Pat used? Well, he used me shutting down a flat earther, didn't he? Showing just how unbiased I am. Thanks for that, Pat. Wonderful work. You might want to find out who Witsit is before you use that as an example. You know what I mean? But there we go. That's how these pan out. And, yeah, as far as I'm concerned, I've still agreed. I've given a conditional acceptance. But the thing that hasn't been addressed, the elephant in the room, is definitely the R value. And it has been since the 1st of Jan 2020, when the Black Swan was released to you all as the Black Plague that it is. And you run from the Black Plague, as was detailed.
Wait a second. So you mean to tell me that that time Witsit came in and I thought you were a little rough on our guy? He used that?
Yeah.
Can't write this any better.
Yeah, you couldn't make it up. So, cowards, just come and tell me how wrong I am. Cats, you've got an open invitation daily. Yeah? You can come in and tell me just how stupid I am. Yeah? No bother. And obviously, if you've got a good argument rather than 80 repetitions being put to you and you ignoring them, then people will believe you. Hopefully, though, you can find someone else that will shut me down in an instant when I ask you for R. And then you can tell everyone how fair it is and how I've run away when I give a conditional acceptance to debate you. You can lie. Maybe tell them that we haven't officially debated. Another lie told to me by Pat that Cat's told. Yeah, this person's intellectually dishonest. And to spin out that lie, Pat said, you need a moot for it to be a debate. All I see is arguments. So I brought the definition of debate, which presents arguments. That's right, Pat. Yeah. The fact that Cat's intellectually dishonest man that he is told you that we hadn't officially met is a weaselly way of lying. And you tried to back that, didn't you, by demeaning my show as not being a debate. And your conversation show suddenly is the official debate platform of the universe, isn't it, Pat? Yeah, don't kid yourself, dickhead. Well, this was fun. I didn't think I was going to get this off my chest. I thought this was very last week. I thought we'd done with this, but obviously the commenters still want to believe the lies they've been told that I've run away.
Good morning, guys.
Hello.
Hello.
Wait, what's the name of this show? Flat Earth Debate, right? So how could you be running away when you run a daily debate show?
I don't know. The fact that we lay out the things that are unaddressed daily Yeah, I don't know. The fact that we have housekeeping that's continually unaddressed and is shocking when somebody needs it addressing if they've been met before in debate. Oh, my bad. Not officially. Yeah, Cats. Yeah, you're a liar, Cats. Yeah? We haven't met officially. Have we not? Oh, right. My shocking horror. I thought being on a live broadcast with you, that I'd call that pretty official. Obviously, we need to debate about what official means rather than just calling you a flat-out liar. Because you were trying to convince him, through his own ego, that if he ran it, it would be official now, wouldn't he, Cats? So you could lie about us meeting. Right? That's what you've got, liars. Of course, he's had his little pool game with Ranty and told him how I ran away. Not knowing that, quote, Pat, Nathan wants to debate. Obviously, that makes you both look like liars, doesn't it? Because you are. And we all know you are. Obviously, being liars that are all known well and truly as liars by us, there's going to be some issues that we're going to want to addressing if we've got a so-called neutral platform to debate on. Those issues of you being intellectually dishonest was one of the issues I raised that never got addressed now, didn't it, Cats? Plenty of examples of your intellectual dishonesty. Like you saying we haven't officially met. That would be intellectual dishonesty, Cats. Embarrassing for you. The non-expert that wants to meet the flat earth expert, that would be me. I'm sure it really peeves you for me to call myself an expert and make it plainly obvious and true that you're not. That must really piss you off, eh, Cats? Yeah, just keep lying about how I've run away from you, my friend, when you've got an open door to challenge me anytime you like. Maybe you could complain about the mute button. Bearing in mind that my 80 renditions was done in a chat room. Yeah? No mute button there. Just 80 renditions of the same point that Cats could not address.
Is it safe to say that we answer every question we can, and if we don't know the answer, we'll admit that we don't know the answer? So how come when Tommy debated Cats told him that he would get back to gas pressure out of container, and he never did?
That's because he's a liar. I will get back to this, and then doesn't. That's a liar, isn't it? I will do this, then they don't do it. That's a liar.
Even worse than not getting back to him, though, he's trying to switch the question out. Say, oh no, let me correct you. It's not how do you have gas pressure without a container? It's how do you have pressurized gas without a container?
Which is the same thing.
Right.
Yeah, intellectual dishonesty. Bamboozle your opponent by rearranging the question. And according to Tommy, he asked him the same question rearranged in the manner he liked, and he still didn't get an answer. Yeah, that would be part of the detailed explanation of getting 80 renditions to the same point put to you. A concern that's never going to get addressed by somebody that's on that person's side now, is it? No. Unreasonable concession, perhaps. It's sad, really. You globe believers are sad. You're all torn up inside as well. That also amuses me. How much pain you're in cognitively. So, for all you happy commenters out there, same thing applies. This is the point I wanted to make. I didn't expect it to get dragged out, but this is good fun, I must admit. When's the elephant in the room getting addressed? Everyone who's gone through my email thread that was professionally published by Pat, why haven't you actually addressed the elephant in the room? It was the first thing that Pat mentioned. That'd be R. You all want to babble on about how you can spin what I said into meaning something it didn't, but nobody ever comes to me and says, why are you saying you need R? That's totally unreasonable, because not a single person has addressed that. One out of about 100 people to comment on this so far, and I do mean this sincerely, you can check for yourselves, one person mentioned in passing my objection about 80 to 100 repetitions of the same point not being reasonable. One person mentioned that out of at least 100 people to comment. It's just priceless. Yeah, you're all terrified of R and running from it. Yeah? Do you think that sticking your head in the sand was a useful way of dealing with this problem? No, it wasn't. Just makes me laugh. We've only done a couple of housekeeping questions. Might as well just for kicks and giggles, right? Any evidence of the distance to the sun?
No,
What is
it's
this
over
on?
there. Hey, Mighty Mouse, stop talking in chat. Get in here. I want to talk to you about your
Not a
equatorial
chair.
mouth. I want you to explain it to me.
What's his name?
Mighty Mice.
There's 14 people in Discord, so 2 or 3 people are going to have to jump ship if you want a gap for him.
I want to know how he's using, in his mind, the equatorial mount that tracks the movement of the stars, which are in the sky, has nothing to do with the shape of this Earth. How he says that proves ours.
Hold on 1 second, 10th. Go ahead. I can't read that. The guy's at the top of my list. Starts with CR. Can't read, it's too small. Hello? I think it's CREA2R. Okay, open your mic during a live show. Don't respond to anything anybody ever says to you. Can you just kick him out? Kick him out. Dead weight. Okay, there's a couple of gaps now. If somebody wants to join whatever the guy that 10th man's trying to get your attention of.
Mighty Mice, M-I-C-E. Come on, there's room for you now. Tell us how an equatorial mount that tracks the movement of the sky in any way, shape, or form has anything to do with proving the radius of the Earth.
It doesn't, they assume R. This needs R.
I know, but no, I want to get him in here.
Oh, maroon in it. Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. He's
Right, let me just tell him. Mighty Mouse, if you're going to join, please cover your ears just for a few seconds. Yeah, you're going to need R for that.
yes. It's amazing in chat what they say.
Yes, because he's going to need R. He knows damn well. Unless they get to assume it from the peanut gallery, what are they going to do? No, distance to the sun, definitely going to need an R value. Self-perpetuating molten iron core.
Well, to answer that as well, the sun is an entire black body, quote unquote, but when they invoke radar that can, measure the distance, well, that's out the window.
Well, as a transgender Afro-American American, I find that very offensive. Is this black body sun problem going to get problematic?
Only when another problem eclipses it.
Any scientific evidence of gravity? Might as well change the subject.
You're going to need R for that.
You are going to need R for that.
Come on, Mighty Mouse. You keep saying you can prove R without the horizon, and it's not necessary.
Who's Mighty Mouse?
He's the guy in chat. He's afraid to come on.
Ah, Mighty Mouse. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Is he in the Discord chat? I don't pay attention to that, by the way.
He's on the YouTube channel chat on your
Oh,
show.
is he? Oh, okay, I've got that. Fair enough.
Come, young Mighty Mouse. Come with your globe arguments, please. We would love to hear them.
Like I say, if they had it, they'd be in here daily, shutting us down and embarrassing us. And when they had the advantage, that would be to have the flat earthers, us, unaware that every single argument that took place was automatically taking place on a sphere with the begging the question proof of nothing perspective hijacking earth curve calculator. When they had that advantage, that would be us letting them beg the question the entire time. Then they flooded in, didn't they? Because it didn't matter how it went. They would always win. How much does this photo compare to Muppet Vision? How much is it matching up or down versus the physical geometric sphere edge horizon based on R? When we asked those questions, they loved it, didn't they? Without a sphere assumption, you've got nothing. You can't win. And you know it.
Well, if Mighty Mouse is going to come in, I assume he's going to come in and say, "Here I come to save the day."
To be fair, I don't know why you're messing around with that particular peanut gallery. While you might stick your rod in the Discord server chat to get a chat skank on your line, the YouTube chat is the last place I'd be appealing to and leaving these gaps in. Got to be honest, I doubt very much that the people who are in that particular chat will come. I mean, eventually they might, but not because you've enticed them.
No, I'm doing this for fun because I know he'll never come in. I'm just highlighting the nonsense he's putting there. And so the live viewers could see how chicken he is to actually come and defend his position.
Or any of them at the moment.
Now
Go
I'm
on.
confused. Is he a chicken or a mouse?
Did you mean position or religion? I'm confused.
Religion. Religion, but that it's not a religion once you relinquish it, because it remains a religion when you're a normie. If you've got a globe belief and you just, you know the sky's a vacuum and that men are out in space and we're orbiting the sun, you just know. Well, that's when you've got a religion, but you aren't aware of it. Now, when you get here and you find out that you're not, and that you haven't got an hour value, and that space is fake and it's in violation of natural law and all the problems that we present, well, at that point, you've no longer got a religious faith, because what you actually state isn't rhetoric anymore. Earth doesn't turn underneath. End quote, Blue Marble. A football to cause drift and win a game? yeah. That's not rhetoric. That's not globe faith. That's not being part of the globe religion. That's being an anti-flat earther. A very small subset of community that isn't really related to globe faith, really. They think they are. They're delusional, though. I couldn't quite put my finger on it years ago when I tried to define this and stereotype them in this way. I wasn't quite there, although I say I defined this years ago. I didn't quite have it down. They are a subset of flat earthers. So you've got globe believers, that's normies that just know instinctively, because they were trained from birth, that they were on a globe. They have a religious belief that they are completely unaware of. It's the new world, one world religion, whatever you want to call it. Well, the one world religion is heliocentrism. Just like any other sky claim. Doesn't matter if it's Zeus. Doesn't matter if it's a god of thunder holding a hammer. Doesn't matter if it's lions in Lion King. Or angels. It really doesn't matter. Rocks falling around the sun. They're all the same, just religions. Now, most people are unaware of that. Therefore, that's how you're an active member of the heliocentric religion. The moment you find out that it's a begging the question fallacy to assume that the horizon's a physical sphere edge blocking things, and it's a preposterous notion to have boats falling over an edge, well, a ludicrous notion the globe holds. You might find your way to the anti-flat earth rhetoric of anti-flat earth society, which is what they really are, and tell us you've got boats falling over the edge, to dull the pain of your horizon having boats falling over it and that stupid notion that the globe has. You'll find solace in attacking flat earthers, because that's all you've got left when you get here. Because you've had the red pill force-fed to you. You didn't want to swallow it. You wanted to be a blissful, ignorant globe believer, going about your day, washing your car, and listening to the radio. Not here telling us daily in comments that we're stupid. That's your pain projected out onto us.
Yeah, you grabbed the wrong cup, buddy.
Do you think space.com will come out with like a part 2 article? Because, they had the part 1, how to debate a flat earther. That doesn't seem to be working out too well for them. Especially because they start with this whole thing of the horizon and how that's we know about the curvature and it all relates to the horizon. And then there's a bunch of crap in the middle of that. And then at the end of that article, what does it say? This argument is not actually about evidence. It's about trust. So, yeah, that's cute.
I'll have to ask my grandson, because the last time when I was speaking about things like the horizon, he said my teacher told me this was going to happen. So maybe I'll grill him again.
Or not.
What Mama said, there'd be days like this. You're going to find somebody that's going to ask you a question you might not have a response to, or you have some type of program response to, nobody claims the horizon. Nobody, I've never heard that.
Well, his answer was Earth.
What do you mean the
not...
horizon's Earth curved? As I'm posting horizons labeled Earth curved. Are you people all right, man? Some of y'all need medication. I really think so. It's becoming sad, to be honest.
Well, when I was showing him the horizon and we were discussing it, the end of it was after he said, my teacher told me this was going to happen, he said, Earth is not flat. No matter what I said, he said, Earth is not flat. So maybe that's what they're telling them.
Yeah, but that's how it's always been. Reinforcing the rhetoric, the fact that they've got on a bit of an opposition now in the 2020s that's established and has decent arguments, well, that means that you need potentially to introduce it more into the curriculum. You know, how some of the exam questions point out how it's not flat. Give you questions that are phrased in such a way that you'll get them wrong if you assert that it is. Well, we know what the education structure is. We all went through it, didn't we?
Well, I think it's also the education structure that makes them, assume everybody that's a flat earther is a moron. You know, that's
Correct.
how they teach it in the books.
Correct.
There's
You get
only
laughed
one
at.
simple issue. It's a simple issue to point out. The reason we're here is because, number one, they're liars. And number two, they're lying about redefining terms when we call them out. For instance, matter in the liquid state and in the gaseous state has to be contained. But they'll say that the outside of a ball is a container. And they'll say, well, gravity does that.
Nah.
And even in gravity's definition, well, gravity is not defined, but if they were to try to define it, it wouldn't even sound anything comparable to the well-defined definition of gas pressure. So they think, well, gas pressure is a thing, but it's also a thing by way of gravity if I define gas pressure in a different way to suit my needs. Fuck you. Well, excuse me, it's still the morning show. But I mean, excuse you. No, I'm not gonna allow you to attempt to redefine things and then play coy as if you're not doing it. I'm not having it.
That's right. Call him out on it, Eli. No mental gymnastics here. The definition, please.
Well, that's why they've gotten to the point of, well, those definitions of words are meaningless, right? What kind of defeatist shit is that? What's wrong with you? How are you in a debate and say something like the definitions of the very words you're using have no meaning? You just negated your entire everything that you've said to that point.
I could have ate that.
Shout out to my compressor settings for not knocking the eardrums off everybody during Eli's bit. I'm just quite pleased with myself, Eli. Yeah, redefining terms is what they have to do. You're absolutely right, Eli. I'll take this to mean that. Really? You will? Why? Well, because that doesn't help me. So I'll take it to mean this.
But don't they want truth?
No, they don't.
Are we all having a moment of silence for their lack of ability to deal with truth?
Look, I could just tell you plenty of stories of people that I know who I said, hey, I want to talk to you about something. It's probably one of the greatest illusions that has ever been hoisted on mankind. Oh, what is it? What is it? Up to this point, you know, they've always talked to me about any subject, anytime, anywhere. The minute I bring it up, run for the hills. They don't want to know it. What's so scary about it? I'm either going to be corrected and set straight because I'm wrong, or I'm going to show you things that you're going to break through the illusion. They don't want to hear it. And here we got people in chat, whether YouTube chat or Discord chat, typing away. Well, come on the show and show us how you think there's an R. You think if there was curvature, we'd be on this show? You think I wake up every morning because there's curvature to be on the show?
Come on, Tent, you're getting paid. Tell us what David Weiss is paying you.
Yeah, well, that's fun and all, but the whole point is the lack of them being here, the killer arguments that took several years for this side to understand and poise for them when they come, is neutered them. They're all neutered. All their arguments for globe, done.
Well, I think Eli is on something, because I remember QE for the longest time saying, have them define everything.
Well, that's essential. That is totally essential in everything. But they've even redefined defining in order to keep the lie alive in their mind. Straight is curved. Science doesn't prove things.
Words don't have meanings.
Hey, Adam.
Yeah, good one, Adam.
That's probably the worst one, isn't it?
Yep.
From Ruhif.
It's meaningless.
Yes, that by far is the worst one, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, shoe being a phenomenon and a hypothesis for the shoe is true. That's wonderful, but it's not the best, because that statement that this clown made completely negated any credibility, any words he said immediately after saying that. So yeah, that's why that's the best one.
It renders everything irrelevant if words don't have meaning.
Renders it mute.
I'm assuming it's probably been said shortly after he said something where he's contradicted himself, and therefore the only way out of it is to say, "Oh no, those meanings don't mean anything." Yeah.
That's the
Generally
fundamental.
where, yeah.
Go on, sorry. I thought you
I would say it's generally the way that the conversation goes. You start there, it almost feels genuine. You get to a point where there has to be a concession to be made, and it goes one or two ways. Either you get a noob who might concede, or it turns into ridiculum, where the next response is to go, yeah, well, obviously the meanings of words don't mean anything, for them to maintain their position or their stance, which is not infrequent, is it?
Yeah. To say that the meaning of words has no meaning is to say there is no point having any discussion with me because I render every aspect of the Socratic method irrelevant. It's like that's the point in discussion and debate. To agree, to reach a point where you agree on the definitions of things. If you're both talking about seemingly the same thing, but one's describing an apple and the other's describing an orange, then there's a problem. You're talking at cross purposes. That's why you have to agree on words and their meanings. That is the Socratic method. But to say, well, the definition of my words is meaningless. It's like, well, no, having a conversation with you is meaningless.
Just next time they say, well, that means then, actually, the meaning of a ball earth means it's flat, really flat. That's what it means, if the words are, meaningless. But it is more. It's the point when they get to that. It's like Rumpus's tell. When the Rumpus goes, internet proves I'm never wrong. You know, when those bits come out, it's basically how a gentleman would just say, I've lost this argument, move on, but all they've got is that. But as soon as you hear it, it's as good as an admission that they've lost the argument to you.
Only if you're in the know.
Well, yeah.
Your average Joe onlooker isn't.
So I just told my coworker that somebody, because she's looking at me, what are you guys talking about? So I told my coworker that somebody said the definitions of words are meaningless. Some Glober said that. She was like, you keep calling him a Glober, but that just sounds like an idiot. I was like, yes, exactly. Thank you.
Put her on the phone.
Well, no, but that's the point, isn't it? You ask your average man on the street. That's what Chocolate's offering. What does average Joe think about this scenario? You're in the discussion about something, and the person you're in the discussion with says, well, the definitions of words are meaningless. How do you take that? Do you take that as X or Y? No. Well, it was positioned as a Globe believer saying it. That was the bias that Chocolate put on it. And her reaction was, well, I don't know about Globe believer. Sounds like an idiot.
That's what I'm saying. And that's what the people want. Sounds like that's what she wants. She doesn't want to hear you complain about these anti-flat earthers. What she wants is, someone like someone credible to actually go on and stick to definitions and stick to logical arguments. Like I think she wants to see somebody like that talk to you. And why shouldn't that be the case? Why aren't people knocking down your door to explain to you in a coherent fashion that there is indeed a viable hypothesis for astronomy and all this other bullshit crap we think is up there and all this bull crap we think we believe? There's got to be a hypothesis somewhere. I mean, it's science, right?
I could ask, any single viable hypothesis from any of the fields of astronomy, cosmology, or astrophysics?
No, I've been asking this dude for 4 days straight to define a hypothesis. And he keeps telling me that he's already given me 4 citations for what qualifies a hypothesis.
What, rather than just giving you one?
Isn't the question a viable hypothesis?
For a hypothesis.
Oh, so he can't even define the shit.
No, because I keep telling him that it's just his statements are full of presuppositions. There is no hypothesis, and he straight up told me that we're not concerned with the cause.
Oh, is this that waffler that you sent me a clip of, Eli?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you got a clip? Oh, let's have a listen. Have you got...
No, not a clip, the clip of these the conversations between them. Which, I mean, I just looked at it, and Eli's making a point. He's asking him to define these things, and he comes back with just basic waffle of his own rhetoric, just restating it. If I read instead of recognizing the point you've made with regards to hypotheses, IVs, DVs, if I just go on about the cosmic background radiation again, that'll prove you wrong. That's kind of how I read it, Eli. And he just wanted to filibuster, I think was the word, just to talk waffle, to ignore the perfectly good point you had, which was lovely. In all of this stuff, then, what's your IV? What's your hypothesis? And he couldn't get there, could he?
He couldn't get there. And I thought, well, it's only fair. Like, when you're talking to another human being and you're like, okay, well, maybe maybe they're sincere. Maybe they don't understand that what they are presenting isn't actually a hypothesis. So the next logical step in my mind is to say, okay, so that I'm not attacking your ego, you're not attacking my ego, how about we just define what a hypothesis is and see if what you've given me falls into the category of a hypothesis or a definition of a hypothesis or whatever. And he won't do it. He keeps saying, I already gave you So if you don't mind, can I just read the statement that stupefied me?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I'm holding the show open, so you can. Go ahead.
All right. So, oh man, hold on to your tighty whities. So, hypothesis. Universe occupied a single point. Already how are you going to falsify that?
What?
You don't even have an observation. Let me keep reading. Sometimes called the Big Bang. Evidence. Universe expands uniformly over time. Prediction. As matter expands and cools, recombination error occurs, leaving heat signature. Experiment. Measure heat signature of observable universe. Validation. CMBR, cosmic microwave background radiation. Perfectly scientific. Oh my God, how do you say these words all together at the same time, right? Perfectly scientific, and none of it explains the cause of the expansion or origin of space-time and matter. Merely validates the hypothesis of space-time and matter occupying same point, Big Bang. The end.
With that, I am going to say a huge, massive, enormous thank you first and foremost to both Discord and G+ panels for making today's live show possible. If you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley premiering streams, then stay tuned as there will be an after show to follow. Unfortunately, if you are watching this live, this is where we bid you farewell. So a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of you. Smashed the super chat, liked, commented, shared, subscribed, hit the PayPal link or joined as a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member. Once again, stay tuned if you're watching on either premiering stream. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I will see you all in the next video.
What a lovely day!